Alright guys, as you can clearly see, I am a Tigers fan, and I'm not going to get to wear this very often this year. And I'm definitely not going to get to wear it again after we've played quality teams very often this year. So I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to bask in this excitement. And before we get to Supercoach, obviously, that's the discussion today, as it always is every week. Thanks for joining me. I just want to say, I am thrilled. That was such a good game. It was such a good game to watch. And half our team's done. So news has come out. Noah Bolter's done for at least a month and a half. We know that Tom Lynch is gone for quite some time as well. I believe Liam Baker's been offered a one-match ban. We still have, injury concerns over Dustin Martin and Dylan Grimes and Dion Prestius. So Richmond's season's done. We're not winning many more games after this. So I'm going to wear this for this week's episode purely to enjoy it because I'm enjoying it. And I just want to first bring up, before we get into it, because I have an apology to make early on, I have to admit. I want to discuss a few rookie options for this week. Premiums to look out for the week. So guys that you want to bring in. We have captain choices. We have questions. We have VC and C options as well. So we've got a lot to discuss in this week's episode. But before I begin, please make sure to subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I post regular updates for news, as well as all of this sort of stuff all the time. So, do make sure to follow us on there so then you don't miss out on any of that content. I've been pretty on par with my captain choices, by the way. 146.66 is what I'm averaging from captain choices this year so far. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say, Shane, special shout out to Shane, who listens to this podcast and watches us on YouTube. He's a mate of mine, and I'm sorry for making fun of your Bramble pick. For those who are unaware, Bramble is a little bit of a POD that he had. Lachlan Bramble. He's gone up 55k over the weekend, and his projected score is 74, which is probably going to hit. So he's probably going to make another 26k, let's be honest. His break-even 17. He's got DDP. He brought him in so he can rotate between midfield and defence to allow, Dacos to be moved back and forward. And the guy has almost turned up against the Eagles. He scored an 84 prior to that and 107. You know what, Shane? Hats off to you. I'm sorry. Good pick, mate. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. He's in 7.2% of teams now, which is quite interesting. He was at I'm pretty sure he was at 3% when Shane first mentioned him. So good work on that one, mate. Sorry for making fun of you. Yeah, sorry about that. But let's go into some other options for this week. I just wanted to first bring up questions. Now, there are a lot of people who ask questions on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I had a few DMs on Instagram. I won't open it up, but Alex asked me about Jordan Dawson, and I have a feeling I got a few questions about Dawson as well. And honestly, I think you should keep Dawson. I do think he's going to come good. I don't think he's going to be a player that is going to continuously be scoring 80s. He's losing money, I know, but he's going to come good. He's getting the CBAs. He's there, the role is there, and he's a good quality player. He's getting the ball, he's just not doing very much with it. Adelaide just looked terrible. I just want to get the rest of his questions up because I think there was another section to it. Just testing to see if I'm correct. He was talking about Sarong. I think you should pick Sarong. There were a few questions here. I think it was mostly Jordan Dawson actually that he just wanted to know about. Yeah, Sarong and Dawson. Yeah, what to do about Dawson? Yeah, so Dawson, Cole, and anyone else. If you've got Dawson, you've probably already lost money on him. I don't. Yeah, you've already lost 57k. He's at 590k. Far out. That's juicy. His break even's 174. Wow. Wowie. Honestly, he's one to keep an eye on for sure. I'd be bringing him in around round 6 or round 7, personally, just before he plays Essendon or North Melbourne. But Jordan Dawson, round 6, round 7, definitely someone to keep an eye out on, because he's just going to keep bucketing cash. You're going to get him in the early 500s, I reckon. Well, let's take a look at some of those other questions, though. So I did ask some questions. We got 22 comments on Facebook. Don't worry, not all of them are questions. Let's see. So all comments. Let's take a look. First one is Shane. Follow up on Bramble. Yes, I've done that. I apologise. Bradley Schultz. Quickest way to delete the app. Yeah, I feel your pain sometimes, mate. Yeah. Don't worry, it'll come around. Josh Colvin, how do you score 2,000? I don't know, but I'll let you know when I figure it out. Hopefully this week, now that's no longer best 18. I think round 4, we get a full squad to choose from, because there's no buys this week. So you should hit 2,000 this week. My rank, without going into it, I had a really shit first round. And I had the worst first game that I've had in a very long time. Let's see what my rank currently is. So I'm at 42,000. I'm not happy with that personally, but I've gone up 30,000 spots in the last 2 weeks. So that I'm happy with. This is pretty disgusting, and I'm hoping to really start getting making ground and coming back, because I think my team's actually looking pretty good. I just had a really poor first game. I got sucked into a lot of mid prices, and I'm not happy about it at all. This is the worst season I've had in quite some time. This is evidence that I've had good years in the past. I promise. I have had good years in the past. This is just a really bad year for me. Still doing better than some of the Dr. Supercoach boys, by the way, and I'm hanging high on that because they are the best in the business when it comes to Supercoach podcasting, and them and the Supercoach co-captains, I think they're having better seasons than I am. But I've got some of the guys from Dr. Supercoach down pat. And I'm in the Supercoach PodMasters. That was something else that a lot of the Supercoach teams, Supercoaches are doing. Let's see, some of your favourite Supercoach podcasters are in that. And I did lose this week. Just lost by 60 points or 58 points because they picked... who did they pick? They picked Jordan Dawson as captain. A lot of guys are in this. There's the Supercoach co-captains. You know, we've got Supercoach Masters, the Podmasters. We have a lot of guys in this that are big. So they do follow them on Twitter. They post updates at the moment. I've won a couple. I think I've won a game out of 3, and I've just lost the other 2, which is very frustrating. Very frustrating. Now, let's go back to questions. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there. Hugh Mason, what to do with Windhager top, and who are the top trade-in targets for the week? I'll go into top trade-in targets for the week a little later on. Windhager, I think he's only out for a week. I like Windhager. If you've traded Windhager in, do not trade him back out. How long is Windhager out for, actually? He's made 16k. Ugh, that was a drop. That was a risky pick. How long is Windhager out for? Sorry, live Supercoach podcasting. Let's take a look. Gun midfielder suspension confirming. I think he's only a 1-match ban. Yeah, 1-match ban. I had a feeling. So yeah, just hold on to him. Just don't trade him out. If you traded him in, don't trade him out. But if you started him, I suppose you could trade him out, but it's a very awkward starting price, so I suppose it depends on who you intend to bring in. If you can manage to turn Windhager into a player that's going to make you a decent amount of money, where it's like a Tom Brown, for example, type, I'm not opposed to it, but if you've traded him in last week, don't trade him back out for 16k. That's bad. Don't do that. Alright? Nathan Booth, besides getting Darcy, are there any moves that not many people might be thinking to get ahead of the pack. Well, that's where I'm going to go into my the players that I want to bring in. So let's go to that in just a sec, Nathan. I will get onto that. Ethan Paxton. Keep or trade Dawson. I've already said I personally will be holding Dawson. If you had him, he's already lost you a bunch of money. You don't want to bail. If you bailed before you lost your money, and then you pick him up later on when he's at 520k, great. But if you've already lost 60k, just hold him. He's going to come good. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Honestly, incredibly surprised. The guy's a star. You don't want to trade him out and then watch him bang home 136 like all the people that traded away Nick Martin on the weekend. Because that's going to happen. And it could happen this week because he's got a really good record against Melbourne. So don't trade out Dawson. Shane has asked again, best rookies to watch. I'll get into that in a moment. Keddy first. Is it worth keeping Elijah Tsatsis on the bench or trade and bank the cash? Tsatsis, I think you can hold him. I think he was dropped from memory. Elijah Tsatsis. Sorry, he's not someone that I've been keeping too much of an eye on. I believe Essendon Bombers, blah, blah, blah. It's impressing. Didn't really... Was he dropped? I don't remember. Sorry, I think you can hold him, personally. But I haven't... he's, mid-forward. He's played 2 games. He's not listed as an injury. So, yeah, he was dropped. I had a feeling he was dropped. He's about... What's his break-even? 33. He's going to make only 10 grand if he scores 53. If he's named, keep him. If he's not named, you could probably trade him down to get Darcy. I think Darcy is definitely someone you should be jumping on board. So if it means getting Darcy, trade him out, Keddy. Peter Lane, Newcomb to Nick Martin. Look, I don't love it. And I said this last episode, if you're trading out a player that's a mid-pricer, because Newcomb was... it wasn't really a premium, but he wasn't really a mid-pricer. If you're trading out one of those risky players that are an elevated mid-pricer, don't go get another elevated mid-pricer. Because Nick Martin is still a risk. He had 40-something disposals. I think 44 or 46 disposals on the weekend. Okay? And he scored 136. He's not going to get 46 disposals every day. And if 136 is what he banged home with that incredible game, I don't know. To me, a 46 disposal game should be looking at around 170 score, the 180 score. Okay, he didn't do that. He got 136, which is impressive. Don't get me wrong; it's impressive. It's great. I love it, but. Is he going to get 40 plus disposals every week? He's not. And also St Kilda bleed points to defenders, halfbacks, which is why I held on to him. It's why I told everyone to hold on to him last week. It was because he was most likely going to score well. So no, I would not be going Newcomb to Nick Martin. Absolutely not. You didn't ask me who you'd go to. He's 504k. Oh. There is someone I like if you've got a little bit of cash in the bank, and it is Jack Steele, and I will go into that a little bit more. But no, not for Nick Martin, mate. Sorry. Troy Bates, keep or trade short, already lost 60k, BE 160. Nah, I bailed on him last week and I haven't looked back. Honestly, you need to go. He's not the player. He's not in the role. I watched Richmond. Clearly, he's not playing the role that we were thinking he was going to have in round 0 and round 1. Okay, it looks like Daniel Rioli's looking amazing in that back line. He is not. He's already lost his 60k. Unlike Dawson, who's in a really good role, short is not at the moment. The problem is, because you've lost that money, I don't know who you bring in. If you've got a bit of cash in the bank, you have a lot of options. I'd be trying to get Sheasel in, as he's still below 600k. He won't be below 600k for long. So if you can get Sheasel, I'd be getting Sheasel in. You've got Lachie Whitfield, who looks really good, and he's in some pretty good form as well. I believe he's still around the 500k mark. Yeah, 544. I'd be going for one of those guys. But yes, I'd be getting off short this week if I were you. Andrew Ford, what to do with all the guys who started mid-price forwards, Fife, Jordan, Billings, Fisher. Mate, Fisher is... Don't. Just get rid of him. Just get rid of Fisher. He's going to get... If 100 is his best case scenario. Okay? He scored 104 or 105 like a couple of weeks ago. That's probably his best score. He's not that great of a player for Supercoach. We got it wrong. I got it wrong too. Just bail. Billings, bail. Wingmen don't typically score well unless you're Errol Goulden. Or Josh Dacos as well, usually. Last year. Jordan Holt, he plays West Coast this week. Why? Actually, that's something that I want to bring up. Okay? There are almost 6,500 people trading out James Jordan. He has a break even of 44 with a projection of 70. He's going to go up another 12k. He plays West Coast this week. If Bramble, I'm going to bring back Bramble. If Bramble can almost ton up, this guy can score way more than Bramble potentially in the right position. Do not trade out James Jordan just before he plays West Coast with a break even of 44. He's got another 15k easy to make you. I don't like that at all. Don't do Jordan. If you've got Jordan, Billings, Fisher, and Fife, get rid of Billings and Fisher. They're the first two that you get rid of. Keep Jordan. Fife you could still hold on to as well. I know there's a lot of people getting rid of Fife, but he's still got DDP. His break-even's 45. He can go up another 5k. He's going to hit that break-even. He's got the Blues. He's got West Coast in a couple of weeks after that. If it means getting Darcy, get rid of Fife. But if you've got Billings, Jordan, Fisher and Fife, get rid of Fisher and Billings well before you get rid of Fife and Jordan, because Fife could still pump out a big score. Simon Smith, do I persist with Rankin? Oh, actually, that's something that I want to bring up because I am a struggling Rankin owner myself. He's lost me 8k. He's just banged home a whopping 68. Adelaide looked shithouse, and well, he scored 81 prior to that and a 97. Was actually looking to make money prior to that. He's in 5.2% of teams, which is actually a little bit higher than I was expecting. The role is not what it was what it was in the preseason. It was in round 1, and it was relatively there in round 2 as well. But it changed. If you go look at his heat map actually showed him playing predominantly on the wing with some CBA action. Before that, he was playing midfield and half forward in the rounds before that, and he was getting some goals. This week he played a lot of wing, and that's not the role I signed up for. Look, I'm going to hold on one more week because Adelaide need to do something. They need to do something. They cannot afford to lose another game. And also, Rankin has great records against Melbourne, who is playing this week. 115 and 111 against the Demons. So, they need to do something. And injecting someone like Rankin into that midfield could be the thing that makes them competitive. Now, I believe it's Gather Round this week too. That should give him it should help his scoring. Let's look at fixtures for the week. They are playing at Adelaide Oval on Thursday. Look, they're not going to win. It'll be very unlikely they win. But he's playing at home. He's got a good record against Melbourne. I'd hold him for another week. His break-even's 111. He scores an 83. You lose 12. He might go down another 20k. But I don't know. He's not going to lose you a bucket load of money. And then you could just flip him to a rookie on his bubble next week. I No, don't get... I'm holding Rankin myself for one more week to see what Adelaide do, because they're going to have to do something. Ryan Bread. Fife and Williams tradable. Only one scoring worst are Rooks on the bench. So much dollar to sit on them on the bench. Okay. Williams hold. Fife are both holds. However, again, it depends on what you're intending to do. If you need to get... If all your rookies are still in negative BEs and you want to get Darcy, you can probably get rid of Fife. That's probably okay. Williams I wouldn't be getting rid of, especially with all the backline carnage. Who are you bringing in? Draper? His job security is not that great. Brown, yeah, I like Brown myself. Williams still has a pretty decent break even. I'm just trying to bring it up on screen. When my internet kicks in. Eventually, there we go. So he's already made us 32k. His break even's 21. He's going to make us another 20k. Let's be real. He plays Freo. His scoring should be alright. I could see him scoring another 70 odd. Nah, keep Williams. He'll make another 20k and you can flick him off later. There's no one desperately screaming out, pick me in defense anyway. So I wouldn't be getting rid of Williams if you don't need to get rid of Williams. I wouldn't be forcing a trade if you don't need to make one. I think Williams is still a hold for at least another week. Rankin is someone that I want to... Oh, sorry, not Rankin. Fife is someone that I potentially would like to keep myself. But at the same time, I understand it. You could use that money elsewhere. You can use that money elsewhere. I'm considering getting rid of Fife myself still, but I want to keep him. I'm most likely going to get rid of... I'm going to be very boring this week, and I'll tell you what my trades are later on, but I'm going to be very boring this week. But yeah, no, keep Fife. That's Facebook done, and I believe Twitter had a couple of questions themselves. Let's take a look. I had 3 questions on Twitter. Let's take a look. Jack Parsons. If you could pick any primo to field this week, which would you pick? Already have Heaney, Green, Bont, Sheasel, Sarong, LJ, Gorn, Rowell, Dacos, Ryan. Thinking Stewart or Butters, potentially. Now, I personally like to pick a player just before a game I think he's going to go massive on. I don't like to bring in a premium player if I think he's going to score average. I know that sounds like a given, but you'd be surprised how many people bring in someone like Nick Dacos before he plays Hawthorn. Now, if you're thinking of bringing in Tom Stewart, or who was it? Tom Stewart or Butters. Butters is playing Essendon at Adelaide Oval. Okay? Stewart is playing the Dogs at Adelaide Oval. I don't quite like... Such different players in 2 completely different positions. Stewart's break-even's 124. He's got a decent record against the Dogs, so you could do it. But Butters is someone that I'm liking a little bit more. He's currently the 7th highest scoring mid. He's playing Essendon, mate, at Adelaide Oval. Nah, Butters. Do Butters. That's it. I've convinced myself. Jack, Butters. What do you do about LDU? Should you trade him after 3 games or keep him? Look, unlike Dawson, LDU, I'm putting in a little bit of a different bracket. Has a huge ceiling. He's lost 32k and he's still above 600. Okay, he's got a break even of 173 and he's going to lose you another 3200. So it's different to Dawson, who's lost you a lot more money. Okay, it's different. He plays Brisbane, who he doesn't have a good record against. Okay, but the thing that concerns me the most is that he's actually not their number 1 CBA getter anymore. Dawson still is. Dawson is still Adelaide's highest CBA getter, along with I believe Laird. So that's the thing. The role's still there, right? It's less exciting for someone like LDU, who isn't getting the CBA time in He's still getting it. I think he's number 2. But it looks like Powell is getting most of it. And Brisbane haven't won a game yet this season. And they're going to be pissed. And he doesn't have a good record against Brisbane. I'm not opposed to trading him out myself. I'm not opposed to trading out LDU. You can do a lot with 602k. Yeah, it depends who you're bringing in, but I'm not opposed to trading out LDU. Is Tom Powell a must if you faded him? I think last week was definitely the week to bring in Powell. Let's take a quick look. He's already gone up 62k. He's got a negative 6 break even. He's going to go up another 40k, probably 50k. You can still bring him in. He's 375. If you've got Fisher, you could definitely go Fisher to Powell. You should definitely probably do that. You have to trade up from Fife as well from Jordan. If you've got Rankin, you could probably go to Powell and be happy with that. I wouldn't look at his previous record. He's scored well enough. He's getting their CBA, their number 1 CBA holder. I do like him. I faded him purely because I didn't want to go from risk to risk. Fisher to Powell. I like Powell better than Fisher. But look, I don't think Powell's a must-have. I don't think he's a must-have. He could be at F6 by season's end. But if you could trade up to a Flanders or a better player, I'd be doing that. If you've missed Heaney, go for Heaney. He's still under 600k and he won't be under 600k for long. So, they're questions. Questions are done. That's this week's questions. And that's fantastic. Awesome. Let's do it. So, this week, who did well for me? This week, I was very happy with Nick Martin. I held on to him. Yay. Luke Ryan was fantastic this week, though I traded him out for Hayden Young, who scored 2 points more than Nick Martin. But I still think Luke Ryan will be a keeper for the season. Harry Sheezel was fantastic with 128 as well. I have Tom English, who scored 124. I was very happy with that. And Heaney, who was my captain for the round, 148. I cannot be more thrilled with that. Who did shit? Well, we've already talked about Rankin. I think Jordan was a bit meh as well. Holmes was great for 3 quarters, and then he came out in the 4th quarter and did nothing. I'm pretty sure he was on 75 at 3-quarter time, and then he finished on 84, so I don't really know what happened to Holmes there. So I'm going to put him in that bucket because he was pretty disappointing, and I don't know what happened to Blake Howes. That was bad. That was real bad. Guys, now let's take a look. What to do with blah, blah, blah. Sorry, this is obviously live podcasting. Rookies to bring in. This is interesting. Now, for me, the number 1 rookie to bring in is Darcy. And you can probably figure that out from here. Sam Darcy. The son of Luke Darcy? Yeah, his name's Luke. Is it Luke Darcy? Pretty sure it's Luke. I always forget his first name. Anyway, he scored 109 against Gold Coast and a 54 over the Eagles. But the thing that I like is he was getting some CBA ruck time, which I didn't mind when Lob and, what's his name? English were resting. So I don't mind that, personally. He's playing Geelong, who are a decent opponent, probably get around the 50 mark, but his break-even's negative 92. And he's got a projected score of 42, which he's probably going to score better than, and he's already going to make 61k based on that. Make your money. He is the number 1 rookie target, and he's 100% going into my team this week. There is no way I'm entering this round without getting Darcy in my team. Unless he's obviously not playing. If he gets dropped for some random unknown reason, then don't put him in your team, obviously. The other one, number 2 on the rookie list that I really like is Tom Brown, the Tiger defender, who I was eyeing off for most of the preseason. He's 154k. He's negative 35 break even, and he's got 46k to make if he scores a 66. He's played Port Adelaide, scored a 63, and he's played Sydney and scored a 60. His 2022 he didn't play, and then 2023 he played 1 game and he scored a 69. The guy actually scores a lot of 60s, which is okay for a rookie because you're most likely going to have him on your bench. He's got a bye coming up in 2 weeks, which is annoying, but he plays St Kilda, who bleed points against defenders, and he plays West Coast, who bleed points against everybody. So he should make you a bit of cash before that point. And then he's got a bye, big deal. And then he's got Melbourne, he's got Freo. Like, the draw's okay, personally. But the thing is, he's got job security, which the other defenders that we've been bringing in don't have. Bolter's out for over a month. Actually, Bolter, I think, is out for a few months. We've got Gibcus out for the season. Grimes is still out. The Tigers' defence is deplorable at the moment because of the amount of injuries they have. And Tom Brown's playing some decent footy. He also pushed up into the midfield, not against Sydney, but it was the week prior where he scored this 63 against Port. I don't mind it. He is another player that I'm bringing in this week, and probably for Nick Caulfield. I'm actually trading up to get him. I'm trading out Caulfield to get Brown. That means I need to make 40k? $31,000. I have to invest a further $31,000 into my trade, which sounds horrible. I hate the way that sounds. It sounds disgusting. But I'm still doing it because, you know what? It makes sense because it's going to make me more money in the long run. Sorry about that. Just getting a bit thirsty. I've been talking for a long time. Marty Hoy, we've missed that boat. Draper is the other rookie option that everyone's jumping on, of course. Draper, I don't mind myself. I don't mind him. I'm just taking a look. He's got a negative 32 break even. He's going to make 30k this week if he scores a 34, which he's probably going to score more than that. He's got a 68 and a 35. My problem with him is he scored the 35 against North. Myself, I don't love this. I really just don't. He doesn't have the job security. Fremantle will have a lot of injuries in defence, and as soon as those players come back, he's going to be out of the team. I know that's the case with Tom Brown, but Tom Brown's injured. The players that are injured are out for longer, and Richmond's team is not as secured as... Sorry, the players that are out for Richmond are not as secured in that side as what the players are for Freo. Freo are gunning for finals. Richmond are trying to make finals in a few years, or maybe next year. So no, I don't personally like the Draper pick. I would be going for Brown. If you can't afford Brown, I understand. You could probably go to Draper. That's fine. But Brown is definitely the better option, and Darcy's the must-have. They're the two must-haves this week. I would love to get... Look, I don't want Tom Powell myself. I'm going to be fading Tom Powell personally because I can't do any more mid-prices. I've put a limit on myself. I've already done it. No more mid-prices this season. Unless you're Callum Mills. And Callum Mills at the end of the year when he starts banging home hundreds when he gets back. That's fine. I'll accept that one. But no more mid-prices for me this year. Premiums that I want to bring in. And again, if you're going to bring in a mid-pricer, it's got to be Powell. He's the only one that I would be considering. Premiums that I'm going to bring in. The number one premium that I'm going to be bringing in, and I want to get him in, and I haven't decided how I'm going to do it because I don't want to use any more boosts. So I might have to not do it, but I really want to, is Jack Steele. I think that he is the steal of the week. Pardon the pun. He's already gone up 28k, but his break-even is 73, and he's going up against Richmond, who bleed points to midfielders. I could see him easily going 130 in this game. He's scored 119, 120, 126. He's building his form. His shoulder injury's done. He's gone. He's tackling. He's getting the contested ball. He's getting all of St Kilda's CBAs. He's their number one mid again, and he's their best player. I back this guy a lot. He's an Uber premium, still at a very discounted price of 557k. He's going to be 600k soon, especially if he bangs home a big 130 against the Tigers. He's also got a really good record against GWS. But I wouldn't look at these last two scores against Richmond because These both happened after the broken shoulder. So I'd be looking at this score of 121 in 2022, when Richmond was still, by the way, decent. They were still a decent team at that point. So personally, I think that he could go 130 plus against Richmond quite comfortably. I'd be bringing in Jack Steele this week. For me, he's my number one premium to look into because he's going to be above 600k soon. The other one I'm considering is Lachie Neale for an interesting 1 week play. And why I'm considering him is he's he's not in a lot of teams. He's only in 2% of teams currently, Lachie Neale. His BA is 112. Okay? His projected score is 139. If you can afford him, he's going to go big because Brisbane haven't won a game. Brisbane are going to be very angry at that, and he plays North Melbourne. Look at the last 3 scores against North. Look at that. They are huge. I just want to go into... I did this the other day. I worked it out. He is... I'm trying to see... I put it here somewhere. Sorry, I did make a tweet about it. I'm trying to get the tweet. Lachie Neale has averaged 145.67 against North Melbourne over the last 3 games. He is borderline captain worthy this week. You can bring him in ahead of a massive score because I could see Brisbane coming in hard for this game. They need to win. If they want to play finals, they need to not only beat North Melbourne, they need to absolutely annihilate North Melbourne. Lachie Neale is their most important midfielder. He's got a ridiculous record against North, and he's coming back after 129 points from Collingwood. He's in good form. He's a dual Brownlow medalist. He's playing North, who, let's be real, are terrible. He can make some money real quickly. Not much, but he could very fast. This is the kind of guy that you could hold at M8 throughout the rest of the season and be very happy. He's got a little bit of a tough draw, but then his mid-season's pretty good. I like the Lachie Neale pick myself. I don't have the money to bring him in, but if you've got him, great. If you've got the luxury of bringing him in, this is the fucking week to do it. Touk Miller is another one. He's number 3 on my list, but he's not someone that I personally will be bringing in, and the reason being is because he doesn't actually boast a very good record against GWS. Yeah, that was a really good game in 2021, but that's when he was at the absolute peak of his powers. His last couple of games have been average against the Giants. He's in good form, though, which is something. He's coming back off a bye, and sometimes players that come back off byes don't do amazing. They just don't do an incredible job. He's got West Coast in a few weeks in round 7. Personally, I'd probably be looking at bringing him in against the Eagles in round 7. And I'm gonna write that down. That is something that you should be considering. Bringing in Touk Miller before this game. Then he's got Brisbane and North Melbourne, and then he's got Essendon a few weeks after that, who he's got a good record against as well. For me, and then he's got Hawthorn next week as well, and Sydney. I wouldn't be going Touk Miller. A lot of people are talking about him, but I wouldn't be going Miller this week. Sam Flanders is another one you could bring in. He's number 4 on my list for bring-ins because he's only 528k. His break-even 73. He should hit that. But then again, I don't think Hawthorn's going to be an issue for him because there's 3 other midfielders that are going to be ahead of him in the pecking order. He's in good form. He's in your forward line. Yeah, Flanders is someone to look in. Tom Green, if you haven't got him, definitely try to get him. Where is he? Green. But he's quite expensive. His break-even's 85, so he's still going to go up. He's got a decent record against Gold Coast. He's got a decent record against the Saints. He's got a good record against the Blues. But the thing is, he's not going to play these 2 teams again for the season, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he doesn't. I think if you've kind of missed him, personally, if you've got the money to burn, you could get him in, but I'd be looking elsewhere. I think there's other value. I don't think there's going to be a massive difference between Jack Steele and, for example, a Jack Steele and a Tom Green. I think Tom Green will probably score better, but Jack Steele could easily go 110 for the year, 115 for the year. Tom Green could go around that amount as well, and I don't know. Personally, I think Tom Green's very expensive at the moment. Maybe wait for one of those shit games and get him a little bit later on in the year. I think you may have missed the boat on that one. And that's pretty much that in terms of players that I'm trading in. I'm most likely, as I said, I'm trading in 100% Tom Brown for Caulfield, and I'm probably going to get rid of Mana and trade in Darcy, which means, yes, I am trading up for rookies, but the cash generation will be worth it. I could use a boost, and if I do, it will be for Jack Steele. But I will work that out as the week continues. Now, VC and C options, as I said, I've had some pretty good VC and C choices this year. So let's see how we go. Let's see if I can keep it up. Number 1 on my list is Lachie Neale. I've already discussed this. He plays on Friday night against North Melbourne. Brisbane need to win. We know. I've already done it. Number 2 is actually Isaac Heaney. Why? He's playing West Coast Saturday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Personally, he is my VC option for the week. He will be my VC because I won't have Lachie Neale, so I'll be putting the VC on Isaac Heaney. Number 3 is Gawn. Gawn on the Thursday has I think a decent record against Adelaide. He's been in amazing form. Man, I regret fading him so badly. Why did he start so shit? Why did he get that? If he didn't score that 60... Honestly, my team looked incredible before round 0. And then round 0 happened and I made all these fucking changes and I screwed up. Honestly, against Adelaide, he probably will score good. He's got a good record against them. I can see him doing well. But, if you've got Heaney and Neale, you pick Heaney and Neale. That's it, But again, if you need another option, I suppose I do like Gawn at number 3. Number 4, so the player that I think is the 4th best VC option is later in the round. It is on the Saturday night. It is Tim English. And the reason being is because at the moment the Cats don't have the best ruck line. I just want to see who it is. I do forget his name. He's not a player that's played a lot of games. Where is he? Yeah, it's Conway. And I think he'll do... look, I'll put this into perspective. If Meek and Chol can score 93 and 88, imagine a competent player, like a more competent player, like Tim English, okay? I'm pretty sure English has gone massive as well against... Pretty sure he's gone massive against Geelong in the past. He did. He went 156 in 2023, 103. He's got a decent record against... that's the one that I was thinking, Essendon. He's got Essendon next week, and he scored that massive 204 against them in 2020. I had him in my forward line that day. Oh my God, I remember that. I put him in my forward line that day, and that was amazing. And I captained him. I don't know why I captained him. I can't remember why I captained him. I think I had a ruck injury or something stupid, and I just put the C on Tim English, and he scored me a massive 408. It was, man, I remember that. It's 4 years on, and I'm still reminiscing that. That was amazing. But anyway, Tim English is my 4th vice captain choice. But again, if you've got Neale, Heaney, and Gawn, just go with one of them because they're most likely going to do better. Now, captain choices. I'm actually going for my captain choice is Tim English. He is my captain for the week. If my VC does not do well on Saturday afternoon, for whatever reason, he is my captain choice on the Saturday night. He's number 1 for me because I just think he's going to absolutely destroy Geelong in the ruck and around the ground. Jack Steele is number 2. I've talked him up a lot. I think he's going to do really well this week. Personally, I think that he's just a great option. And he plays on the Sunday, which is good. And then after that, Tom Green. He's actually got a decent record against the Suns. If you've got Tom Green, I'd be putting the C on Tom Green. I think that Tom Green is definitely an option if your VC doesn't work out. That is it. They're my captain and vice captain choices. Thanks so much for listening, guys. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, however you're listening to this. Please make sure to do so. That's me, done and dusted. I'll be back same time, same place next week. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend, guys, and good luck.